I don't know, this past week or so, I've been watching what Forward Monsters has been doing, and they just prepared for a YouTube launch, which would be essentially the first feature film uploaded onto YouTube. And so that has been quite a amazing outcome. I mean, simply just because compared to the film festival circuit, the amount of exposition in just 24 hours has been, hundreds of times what you get in a film festival. So it's kind of insane. and if we're just saying, okay, money aside, as an artist, what I want is people to see what I'm trying to say, then exposition is the most important thing, and this world online is obviously the best way to expose your work, especially if that kind of like massive audience can just swarm in and see the film and then start to comment about it, and as opposed to a theater where nobody can talk afterwards and you have to talk one at a time, and it's this inefficient method of communication. You've got just like all these comments and like video blogs or video posts and people like on blogs all over the place posting about it. And that is a really great way to take your piece of art or whatever your message is and have it seen by a large group of people. So that's what Moonshine will be trying to do, is to take this kind of new world of online stuff, and similar to the way that Forward Monsters has turned that into energy and money. That's obviously possible for anybody, and so then there's companies like B-Side who do online downloads and high quality ones, and facilitate kind of filmmakers doing this. And then there's a whole kind of world where this becomes also a money-making endeavor, and it kind of trumps the profit models as well as the exposition model of normal distribution. So that's clearly, like, I mean, pretty much any filmmaker who really just wants to get his stuff seen, that seems like the tempting thing from the beginning, is like, oh, well, why don't I just throw it up on the internet? Then I can be done. The creative side of a person wants to say, okay, I created this, I want people to see it, I don't want to turn this into some sort of business game. I'm not out to wear a suit. If I wanted to wear a suit, I would have gone into real estate. So that's not me. But then the other part is, well, I put a year, 2, 3, 4 years into this, and if I'm not going to make money from this, what am I going to make money from? And so that part rears its kind of ugly head into the situation. And but really I think the real motive should be getting it seen, and then from that you can figure out ways to monetize. And that's what I hope occurs for Moonshine, is that somehow there is a clear kind of funneling of the interest that might occur from an online release, and from just that kind of thing to funneling into some sort of profit for those who worked on it. And I'm pretty much quitting this kind of lifestyle of searching for distribution. This seems to be like a really efficient way to do that. And maybe Moonshine will be like a second or a third film that gets some sort of ball rolling for other filmmakers who can do something similar. And then obviously this seems like the more realistic way to go for filmmaking. And as the internet becomes more efficient and you have faster download speeds, you'll be able to get higher resolution stuff on there, and then there's no reason to be going to a store and buying a DVD or renting something or doing any of that. It's just not logical. And so once that comes around, that just clears out all other options, really. So this is the place to kind of get the ball rolling, and And even now, like just looking at what happened for Four-Eyed Monsters, they're one of the first films to really do this, and they have a really practical, and it's not like some insane thing. It's actually working. So everyone else out there who's a filmmaker should absolutely consider this, and think of this, start to reimagine the way filmmaking operates. It does not operate as this like bulking, like investor related, grant related earning of money, built like amassing all this money, then getting your like suits and ties to help you out, and they're always looking over your shoulder, like making you afraid of expressing yourself creatively. And then you get your 35mm film and plow away hour by hour, throwing the cash out of your pockets. And then distribution is this massive thing, and you probably just went $3 million in the hole for those investors. That's not the realistic way to think about it, and that will freak you out if you start trying to consider, like, okay, how am I going to be a filmmaker if I'm $3 million onto my head, you know? So what the more realistic way to think of it is, this is not filmmaking. This isn't some hoity-toity thing. What it is it's you get a camera, you find people who have dreamed about the acting, because there's so many of them and they just want to act. Have them come and act in your film. You have your video camera, which are just getting better and better. And then you create your film for very little money, and then you post it online. You have some sort of way of monetizing the energy that circles around the film, and people will watch it, and this will be happening all the time. And releases like that will occur more and more. They'll be, and it'll become like a lot more common to see films that way. And that's so much easier if you think about the amount of risk taking involved in getting your voice out there. So much lower, and just as equally powerful if you can get out of the idea of like having your movie site poster like bigger than you are. Then as a filmmaker, that is very desirable. And so that's what I'm going for.